Shalom, Israel. And when I mean Israel, I'm talking about the Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is going down again this year, sundown, April 1st at 500 South Salisbury Street in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Conventional Center. It's got enough room for all of us. The Lord's 54th annual Passover. Last year, brothers and sisters showed up from all over the world, rocking ancient garments and glorious apparel in order to serve the Most High in Christ. Now, it's that time again. Commander General Yohana's putting out the decree for all brothers and sisters to show up sundown, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us at the Sheridan in Raleigh, the hotel right downtown. It's at 421 South Salisbury. The Passover is right up the block at the convention center, literally within walking distance. Make sure you pull up. Make sure that you do your due diligence because rooms are going fast and they are limited this weekend. You understand? We have months in advance of preparation. Do not wait till the last minute to get your room. The Lord's 54th annual Passover, Saturday, April 1st in Raleigh, North Carolina. Join us there.
It's about time sending curses to them enemies.
Hey, shalom, Israel. Shalom. You heard it. You heard it. The Lord's 54th annual Passover is coming up, man. Y'all better get ready, man. The general already gave the decree, man. He said, hey, get right before things get tight, right? You know, I got to put my twist on it. I said, you better get right before you get left, man. The Passover is going down April 1st, man. So y'all better get in line, man, and get ready. It's going to be a good time, man. It's going to be, we're going to be having a good time celebrating the Lord's holidays. You understand me? That's what we call the holy days. You know what I mean? So we're going to go ahead and open up class, man. First, I want to say shalom. This is the ISUPK, started out of 1 West, Harlem, New York, 125th Street. And, you know, the ISUPK has been established since 1969, and we are under Commander General Yohana. And the ISUPK, we teach the truth according to the Bible. And what is that truth? That truth is that blacks, Hispanics, and natives do comprise the 12 tribes of Israel. We are the real 12 tribes you can find inside the Bible. You understand me? And that's what we're here to talk about tonight. And, you know, in the world, man, they celebrated a day yesterday, right? They had a day yesterday. What was that? MLK, right? We're talking about MLK, man. And you see the subject line. MLK's dream was a lie. And, man, we're going to get right on into it, man. I want to play a video for y'all, man. And we're going to just jump right into it. I'm going to share my screen, man. Boom, boom. There we go. Gonna bust this thing wide open, man.
I have a dream that one day every valley shall be exalted. Every hill and mountain shall be made low. The rough places will be made plain, and the crooked places will be made straight. And the glory of the Lord shall be revealed, and all flesh shall see it together. This is our hope. This is the faith that I go back to the South with. With this faith, we will be able to hew out of the mountain of despair a stone of hope. With this faith, we will be able to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood. With this faith, we will be able to work together, to pray together, to struggle together, to go to jail together.
It's one thing I want to bring out real quick, man. You see how these Christian pastors, man, they follow the same motto that Martin Luther King followed, man. They follow the same motto, man. He said, we will not hear the jangling discords, man. They just wordsmiths, man. They putting together these words to try to make it seem like they're highly intelligent when at the same time they're teaching you a lie, man. And that's what Martin Luther King has done, man. Martin Luther King said he had a dream, and then he come to find out after he did that dream, after he got his high, he said he realized that his dream was a nightmare, man. He realized that he has integrated us into a burning house. You understand me? That's what he said. And we're going to get into that tonight, man. You're going to understand tonight that the dream MLK had was an absolute lie, man. And this video that we're playing right now, this is an excerpt from this is an excerpt from the I Have a Dream speech. I know you're familiar with it, man. I know you feel good when you hear it, but we're going to break it down piece by piece, man. And we're going to talk about what is the truth in this? What's the truth in this? And what's the lie in this? And I can tell you, let me give you a news flash. What he's talking about is a lie. You understand me? That's what he's talking about. That's gonna be the lie. We're gonna keep it going.
To stand up for freedom together, knowing that we will be free one day. This will be the day. This will be the day when all of God's children be able to sing with new meaning, "My country, tears of thee. We land of liberty of thee I sing. Land where my fathers died, land of the pilgrim's pride. From every mountainside, let freedom ring. And if America is to be a great nation, this must become true. So let freedom ring from the prodigious hilltops of New Hampshire.
Man, look at all those people out there, man. It's like, let me pause you again. Look at all the people out here listening to the lie that Martin Luther King is putting forth, man. Look at all these people out here in this audience, man, that he's lying to and telling them we gotta let freedom ring. You understand me? Let freedom ring from every mountaintop. You understand me? This is the March on Washington. This was what was this? Yeah, August 28th, 1963. This is when Martin Luther King first put forth this lie. You understand me? And look at all the people in attendance listening to what he got to say, talking about freedom. Don't even know what freedom is, man. He's so abstract with it. He's so let me tell you, like he's so in the clouds with it, right? Like he's selling you something. He's selling you a dream is basically what he's doing. He's selling you a dream, and he has no ability to know how to put forth this dream that he has. He has no plan on how to put forth this dream. But whole time, the dream is the lie that he's telling you. He wants to sell you on. You understand me? And he's going to use words to try to persuade you to believe his dream. You understand me? But you got to understand that this dream, it's a lie, man. It's an absolute lie.
The hilltops of New Hampshire, let freedom ring.
Got our sisters out there.
From New York, let freedom ring from the heightening Alleghanies of Pennsylvania. But not only that, let freedom ring from Stone Mountain of Georgia. Let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain of Tennessee. Let freedom ring from every hill and molehill of Mississippi, from every mountainside. Let freedom ring, and when this happens, when we allow freedom ring, when we let it ring from every village and every hamlet, from every state and every city, we will be able to speed up that day when all of God's children, black men and white men, Jews and Gentiles, Protestants and Catholics, will be able to join hands and sing in the words of the old Negro spiritual.
And that's what your Christian pastor said today, right? He said, let the Jews and the Gentiles and everybody he want everybody to be happy together, right? That's what he wants. He wants everybody to be happy together. And you know why he wants that? And so you pay your tithes. He wants you to pay your tithes. He wants everybody to come into his church so they can pay their tithes. You understand me? That's what they want. He's not worried about your freedom. He's not worried about you. He's worried about you just paying your money. He just wants you to be there so he can take your tithe money and he can take your rib. You understand me? He can take your woman. That's what he wants. He's not worried about actual freedom because he has no plan for how to achieve his actual freedom. He just wants it. And everybody in this crowd wants freedom, but he don't know how to achieve that freedom. Let me tell you something, man. In the ISUPK, we know what freedom is. We know how to achieve that freedom. We know what to do in order to be free from this oppressor, to be free from this government that's suppressing us, that's oppressing us, like it. To be free from the ones that's over us, pushing our people down. To be free from the ones that's killing our babies. To be free from the drugs and the alcohol and the violence that's happening in our community. You understand me? Ain't nothing wrong with you drinking alcohol, but it's a problem when you turn into an alcoholic. You understand me? So we got to be free from this oppression, to be free from all of these things. But your leader here, Martin Luther King, he wants you to be free, but he's not even telling you what freedom is. He's not even telling you what freedom is. Look, we're gonna finish this up and we're gonna break it down, man. We're gonna break it down a little bit further. We're just getting started. Thought I messed y'all up right there, man. I know that was y'all favorite part. You want to hear that? Free at last, free at last. Thank God Almighty, we free at last. Do you know in 19? It's like get you out of there. You know, in 1968, man, we were still oppressed in this society. We were still oppressed. We weren't free, man. We weren't free at that time. We don't even know, like I told you, man, they don't even know what freedom is, man. Let me give you that definition, man. I got it open up here. Let me give you this definition of what freedom actually is. Here we go. Freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. Do we have that in this? Do we have that in this society? Do we have the right to act and think and to what did it say? So like, do we have the right to act and think or speak as we want without hindrance or restraint? I can tell you absolutely. As a priest in the ISUPK, absolutely not. We do not have the ability to speak without restraint. Even right now, man, I'm telling you, they'll clip this video right now, and I won't be able to say the truth according to this Bible to my people. Whole time, I'm not telling my people to do any wrong. I'm not telling my people to go out here and fight and go out here and I'm not telling my people to go out here and kill nobody. That's not what we're doing. We're not trying to go out here and do anything wrong against this oppressor. Only thing we want to do is keep these laws, statutes, and commandments and to come out of this situation, to get out of this oppression. That's what we want to do. But your Christian pastor doesn't want that to happen. But this oppressor doesn't want that to happen. You understand me? That's why they clip our videos. That's why they don't allow our videos to come up when we search for them. You understand me? And I'm gonna ask you, since you're watching it, if you could go ahead and like the video and share it. You understand me? And subscribe to the ISUPK Alabama so we can fight this oppression. You understand me? That's what we're trying to do. We're trying to fight this oppression. We want real freedom in the ISUPK. But you're not going to get that freedom by following after Martin Luther King, man. Martin Luther King said he's going to have freedom. And the point of the matter is that we do not have freedom in this society. You understand me? We do not have freedom in this society. I was reading an article right now. Let me share this article with you. Give me a second. Let me get over there. Get me a mouse. I was reading an article earlier today, right? It was talking about a little boy, an 8th grader, being bullied, right? One of the dreams that Martin Luther King had was for black boys and white boys and yellow children and all these kids to go to school together. When in actuality, they're going to school together right now, and what's happening? You know what I mean? Let's read this. Let's read this real quick, and then we'll get into it a little bit further. It says it's taught behavior. Unapologetic aunt calls out white parents for raising terrorists accused of bullying her nephew in an Alabama school. So right here in Alabama, you thought it was okay. You thought it was okay, right? You thought it was okay to be from Alabama, right? Because Huntsville was the first city to be Huntsville was the first city to be desegregated in 63, I think it was. But you still right now in 2023, we still have bullying and racist behavior going on right now just because of your skin color, just because you send your black kid to a school. It says, let's get into it. It says, for the past 4 months, an Alabama 8th grader claims a couple of his white classmates have terrorized him because of the color of his skin. You understand me? And that's the truth, right? Just because you go to this school, you think you can you send your kid to these white schools, right? You send your kid to these predominantly white schools, thinking that they'll get a better education, thinking that they'll be safer there, thinking that because they got more money, it must be better over there, right? Thinking that their ice is colder over there, right? Whole time your son is getting bullied just because he looks like his mama. Whole time he getting bullied just because he look like his dad. That's right. Just because of the color of his skin, he's getting bullied like this. Right? They're calling this boy all kind of N-words and all kind of calling him monkey and whatnot like that. I'll try to get down into it, man. You can see the young man right there, how they were talking about him in the school, man. Shalom to the chat, man. Thank y'all for checking in. The water for checking in. But yeah, so You can see how this young man right here was getting oppressed inside of this white school that he was sent to, because his mama thought it would be better for him, right? It kind of obviously you can see it's an all-white school because it says the school has a minority student enrollment of 19%. It's got 19% in that school of non-white people, and you think it's better. Just like you think it might be better in Jones Valley up here in Huntsville. Just like you think it might be better in Hoover down in Birmingham. But the fact of the matter is that we are oppressed in this society. We are oppressed in this society. We do not have freedom to act. We do not have freedom to think how we want to without hindrance or restraint, man. We do not have freedom in this society. We don't have it, man. We don't have it. We don't have that in this society. The dream that Martin Luther King sold to you was a lie. You understand me? That's what it was. It was an absolute lie because we do not have this freedom. We just don't have it, man. I give you another story. I'm just going to touch on them real briefly, man. I give you another story. So like, I'll give you this one that you already know about, right? What happened at Tops, right? It was 10 black folks getting killed because they want to go to the grocery store on a Saturday afternoon. These 10 people wanted to go to a grocery store on a Saturday afternoon. Come to find out they're not going to make it home. You go to the grocery store for grits and eggs. Come to find out you ain't going to make it home to cook for your family. Because we are oppressed in this society, man. You think it's random that these things happen to us? It's not, man. We're not getting treated right in this society because we're oppressed. You understand me? And you want to celebrate these holidays, man. That's what you want to do. You want to celebrate these holidays, but the Lord told us a better way to live. He taught us a better way to live. And I'm going to get you the first scripture, man. John chapter 8, verse 31 through 32. John chapter 8, verse 31 through 32. It says, then said Yahushua to those Jews which believed on him. So Yahushua spoke to his people, man. You think that Yahushua spoke to everybody, but the fact of the matter is that Yahushua didn't speak to everybody. Yahushua spoke to his people, who the world ignorantly calls Jesus. Yahushua spoke to his people. He said, if you continue in my word, then are ye my disciples indeed. And that's the responsibility of us. Once you realize the truth according to this Bible, once you realize that blacks, Hispanics, and natives are the real Israelites of the Bible, we have a responsibility to continue in his word, to continue in his word. Verse 32, and ye shall know the truth. If you continue in this word, you're going to realize what the truth is. You're going to realize that truth. And that truth, knowing that you are black, Hispanic, and native, knowing that you are the real Jews according to the Bible, knowing that you're the real Israelites according to the Bible, once you realize that truth is going to make you free. Why? Why is that truth going to make you free? Because you learn to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. You learn to realize that, oh, that white school over there is not better than this black school that's right here in my neighborhood. Because we can make this black school better than what's going on over there. You understand me? That's the truth, man. You think that you can go over here to this oppressor school and you think that you can get a better education when in actuality you can get the same education right here in the neighborhood that you live in. We just got to build it up, man. You can get that same education, man. Your kids can be safe right here in your own neighborhood if we just learn to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. Once we learn this truth, man, this truth, it will make us free. This truth will allow us to speak, think, and act without restraint. The truth will allow you to do that. The truth will give you real freedom. You understand me? That'll give you real freedom. Oh, but I thought these laws was given to everybody, right? I thought the laws was given to everybody, right? Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. Let's go to Deuteronomy chapter 4. We'll start at verse 5. Deuteronomy chapter 4, verse 5. It reads, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment. Who is that you? Who you think the you is? That you is you, black man. That you is you, Hispanic man. That you is you, native man. That you, that the Most High is talking about right here through Moses is you. That's who it is. He says, behold, I have taught you statutes and judgments. What are these statutes and judgments? These statutes are the teachings of the law, and the judgments are the curses. What's going to happen? What's going to happen if you don't keep them? He taught you the statutes and the judgments. Even as the Most High, my power, commanded me. This is what Moses is saying, right? That ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. So wherever these people were supposed to go, they were supposed to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments. They were supposed to keep these statutes and judgments. They were supposed to keep them. You're not supposed to do what these other nations are doing. You have a responsibility to not do that. You have a responsibility to keep these statutes and commandments. You understand me? Wherever we go, and your Christian pastor want to tell you, oh, hey, the laws are done away with. You don't have to do those anymore. That's from the Old Testament, right? That's what he says. He says the laws are done away with now. You don't have to do that. We keep the law of Christ. Whole time the law of Christ is nothing but the law, statutes, and commandments in the Old Testament. Because Christ was found perfect in front of the Most High. And how do you be found perfect? By keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand me? That's how you get to be found perfect. So the law is not done away with, and it's still for us to keep. Let's keep going with it. Verse 6. Keep therefore and do them, for this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations. And that's a cut right there to tell you that this is not given for everybody. These laws, statutes, and commandments was given for us. They wasn't given to everybody. That's not for your oppressor friend. That's not for your Elamite friend. That's not for your Japanese friend. That's not for these other nations. That's for you blacks, Hispanics, and natives. That's who that's for. You understand me? That's what it's for. It's not for everybody else. He says, keep therefore and do them, which is the law, statutes, and commandments, and this is your wisdom and understanding in the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these statutes and say, surely this great nation is a wise and understanding people. So how do you become wise and understand them? Is it by keeping MLK's dream? Right? Because MLK says no, he don't want you to keep the laws. He wants you to join all these other nations. When our laws specifically tell us that we should not be joining these other nations. Right? That's what the scriptures tell us, man. The scriptures clearly tell us that we should not be following after this oppressor. We should not be trying to be like these other nations. We should not be learning after these heathens. You understand me? That's what the scriptures tell us. It tells us that we should be learning after the Most High, keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand me? Not celebrating MLK Day, not celebrating Christmas, not celebrating Valentine's Day, not celebrating New Year's Day. Because what happens when you do them? The Most High says in Amos chapter 3, he says, I despise your feast days, and I will not smell in your solemn assemblies. So what happens when you celebrate these days? I got an example for you. I'm glad you asked. I'm glad you asked. Let me give you this. Let me give you this one right here. Get out of here. Right here. This happened yesterday. This happened just yesterday, man. It says 1 killed, 7 others shot at crowded MLK Day block party in Florida. Authorities say. So this is what happens. I was like, let me share my screen. So this is what happens when you try to keep these holidays that the Most High told you not to keep. You understand me? This is what happens. It says 1 killed, 7 others shot at crowded MLK Day block party. So you go out here and you try to have fun. You want to, and they said it was for the kids, right? You want to go out here and have fun. You want to go out here and kick it with your homeboys and kick it with your partners and kick it with everybody because it's MLK Day, right? You want to kick it with these other nations and hang out with these other nations because what did MLK say? He said that MLK said that that little black boys and little white girls are gonna be able to go to school together, joining hand in hand, right? That's what you want to do in the spirit of MLK, not realizing that spirit is a demon, not realizing that spirit is something that we should not be doing. So it says, 1 person was killed and 7 others was shot at a block party packed with more than 1,000 people celebrating Martin Luther King Day. It was 1,000 people out here celebrating Martin Luther King Day, man. It was 1,000 people out there. But what happened? All 8 of those shot were adults, and they were ferried to the hospital for treatment. St. Lucie County Sheriff's Office Chief Deputy Brian Hester said at a news conference. The person who was killed died Tuesday morning. That was today, Sheriff Ken said in a briefing. So what I'm trying to break down to you is that you go out here and you celebrate Martin Luther King Day, thinking that you're having a good time, when in actuality your judgment is death. Right? Your statute says that we shouldn't celebrate these. We shouldn't celebrate these oppressor holidays. We shouldn't celebrate these other days. Right? And the judgment for that, you got to go in there and read it. You got to go in there and read it. And what happens when we celebrate these other days? We die. You understand me? That's what happens when we celebrate these other days. And that's what it was, man. You'll read once you go and you do the history on this and you read about this, you'll see that it was kids out there, man. It was kids out there having a bounce party, man. So you would think that you go into this car show to look at these nice cars. If you bring your kid out here, you're gonna have a bounce house. It's real nice, man. You think it's real good, but in actuality, you're going out here to meet your death. That's what happens when you try to keep these holidays. These holidays are not for us. These so-called holidays are not for us, man. The things we're supposed to keep is the Passover coming up on April 1st. That's the day we're supposed to keep. And we're going to be in there having a good time. You understand me? It's going to be bounce houses out there. I heard they're going to have a children's party. You can bring your children to that. And I can tell you right now, you're not going to die out there. You're not going to die out there. You're going to keep these holidays of the Most High. You're going to keep these holy days that the Most High told us to keep, and you're going to live. You're going to have freedom when you keep these holy days. You understand me? That's what you're going to get when you start keeping these high holy days. You get freedom when you start keeping the law, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. That's what you get, man. Kind of running on right now. But yeah, man, when you read about this, you see that you don't really have good brotherhood in these. You don't have brotherhood in MLK in the MLK party. There was no brotherhood there, man. When you read the article, it talks about how there was two parties arguing over, they didn't specify what, but there was two parties arguing, having a disagreement, right? It was two brothers, two people not loving each other. You understand me? It was our nation not loving each other. That's what it was. And what does the Bible say about that? 1 John chapter 4, verse 20. It says, if a man say, I love God and hateth his brother, he is a liar. So how can you say that you love the Most High and then hate your brother? You can't love the Most High and hate your brother, man. That's what you do out here in these streets, though, man. Night after night, man. We go out here and we hate on our brother. We hate our brother. And you try to say that you love God, right? You try to say that you try to do what the Lord say. I'm gonna try to do what the Lord told me to do, but you're gonna hate on your brother, right? It was another party up here in Huntsville, where I live, right? In Huntsville, Alabama, it was another party up here, out here towards Scottsboro, I think it was, out there on Riley Pike. It was a birthday party, and they found two people. They arrested two people for this, but it was four people involved. They arrested two people for the shooting that occurred. They found 200 shell casings on the ground, and it was like, I think it was 11 people that got shot, and two people died from that. Two people died from that, from you at a birthday party. First of all, you shouldn't be celebrating your birthday. That's not a day that the Most High allowed you to celebrate. That's following after heathens. That's following after these other nations. We have a responsibility to not do that. So that's strike number one. Strike number two is you hating your brother, man. You hating your brother so much to the point where you don't even want to talk to your brother and solve that problem. You want to get the gun out, right? You want to get the tool out. That's what you want to do, and you want to shoot the party up. You don't realize that by doing that, you're destroying yourself, man, and you're destroying your nation. You're killing us, man. And you're not realizing that habit comes from the oppressor. That's what the oppressor does. The oppressor finds somebody he don't like or finds something he don't like. What do? He kills them. What's your evidence? Look at what happened to our native brothers. The oppressor came over here, realized that it's some good land over here. It's a lot of land over here, and it's just these natives over here that are over here not doing anything with it. What did he do? He killed them for it. That's what he did. He didn't try to live peaceably with him. He didn't try to live peaceably with our native brothers. They destroyed those brothers, man. That's what the oppressor does. The oppressor finds somebody he don't like, and he kills them for it. And he moves them right on out the way so he can do what he want to do. That's not us, man. That's not our culture. That's not how we do things. If I have a problem with you, I should come to you and talk to you about it, right? I should come to you and tell you the problem that I have with you, and we should be able to talk that out, man, because that's what the Most High has instructed for us to do. It's like this wrong. He has told us that if I have a problem with you, how I should handle that, right? It's basics to this, man. It's basics to this. How can you say that you love God and hate your brother? You understand me? Keep going on. He said, I'm gonna read it again from the top. If a man say, I love the Most High, if I love God and hate his brother, he is a liar. For he that loveth not his brother whom he hath seen, how can he love the Most High whom he hath not seen? So you saying you love God, but your brother is right here in front of you. Your brother is right here in front of you, and you don't even want to love on your brother. You don't want to take the time to show your brother the love that he so much needs. You understand me? We need this love, man. Man, we so oppressed in this society, man. We need the love from our brothers. We need the love from our people, man. We need to stop fighting each other, man, and start loving on each other, man. That's what we teach in the ISUPK, man. They call the ISUPK a hate group, but at the end of the day, what we do is we teach our people to love each other. And it's so difficult to love yourself in this society, man. They have taught us to hate ourselves, man, and love what you see on TV, man. That's what they taught us, man. They taught us that the oppressor, they taught us that the oppressor is better because he has the money, because he has the car, because he has the house, because he has everything that we don't have. He has everything that we don't have, and we want it, and he makes us want it because he make it look good on the TV. He make it look good, and if you're ignorant and you don't know, you're going to want to go after that. That's what he did, man. That's what he does. He does that without fail, and he does it so perfectly that it's easy for your child to watch it on TV and realize that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do. So it's incumbent upon us. It's important on us. It's what we must do is teach our children that is not how we're supposed to live. We don't need to envy our oppressor. We're going to get that scripture, man. Get that scripture. That was towards the end of the class, but it's getting good to me. If it not thou oppressor. Let me get that scripture. Yeah, there it is. Proverbs chapter 3, verse 31. I think I had to pull it up. This is what the Bible tells us, man. This is what the Bible tells us. The Bible tells us what we supposed to envy and what we ain't supposed to envy, right? What we shouldn't be wanting to do. The Bible tells us right there in verse 30. It says, strive not with a man without cause. Man, you got a problem with your brother because he stepped on your shoe, man. You got a problem because he stepped on your shoe, man. You're going to shoot the brother because he stepped on your shoe. Why? Because you don't know what the scriptures tell us, man. Because you don't have no brotherhood. Because you have no love for your people. You understand me? It says, verse 30 says, strive not with a man without cause if he have done thee no harm, man. Just because he hurt, man, let me tell you something, man. It's a problem we have in our society. By if a man don't speak to you, you're going to have a problem. Oh, he ain't speak to me. I ain't messing with that nigga. So like, that's what you say. Oh, he ain't speak to me today. I ain't got a problem with this nigga. Nah, I ain't messing with you no more. You don't know what this brother going through, man. I told you we oppressing the society, man. We destroyed in the society. But you're going to be mad because the brother didn't speak to you. Man, if he has done you no harm, man, strive with that brother, man. It's like he says, strive not with that brother. Try to work with the brother. That's what I'm trying to say. Try to work with that brother, man. Because he has done you no wrong, man. Have some patience for your brother. Have some love for your brother. I'm telling you something with this, man. In order to have patience with somebody else, you got to have patience with yourself, man. You got to forgive yourself, man. That's what we got to do. We got to forgive ourselves. You understand me? We got to forgive ourselves for the things that we have done. You understand me? Because it's things that we go through in this society that has oppressed us and made us feel a certain way. But because of that, we get down on ourselves. And then because we get down on ourselves, now we have no patience for this brother over here. We have no patience for this brother. You understand me? You think because what the oppressors show on TV, that the Mexicans ain't your brother. That the Latino brothers are not your people. This oppressor tells you that these people don't love you. MS-13 is wanting to kill you. That's what they say, right? Man, what? Let me tell you something, bro. We killing ourselves out here, man. Black people are killing themselves out here, just like this. But you try to deal with your brother. I hope you do, right? You should have patience with your people is what I'm telling you. Have patience with your people and strive with your people, man. If they ain't done nothing wrong to you, have strive with that brother, man. And if he has done something wrong, take it to that brother and try to explain it to the brother and talk to the brother and deal with the brother. That's righteous before the Lord. Because the oppressor does that, man. That's what the oppressor does. He sees somebody he don't like, he move him out the way. Get him out the way. We don't deal with this brother. We're not messing with you. Just throw him off. Cast him off like they're garbage. Let me tell you something, man. When you cast off a child of God, when you cast off a brother, you cast off a black, Hispanic, or native, you casting off a child of God. And you got to deal with that. So this is why I say in verse 31, envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. He has a way to try to destroy you, man. He has a way to show you that what you need to do to get this house, right? He has a way to show you in order to get this lifestyle, you need to do what you need to do to get it. Now, he's going to tell you to sell drugs. He's going to tell you to go out here and do some things you shouldn't do. But that's because you want to do what the oppressor does. We should envy thou not the oppressor. Envy thou not the oppressor, and choose none of his ways. Because the ways of his, they're an abomination to the Most High, man. They're an abomination to the Most High. We should not be envying our oppressor. So this is what we should teach our kids, to not envy thou the oppressor. Not envy him, man. What you should do is look at what the Most High wants for us to do and do that. Those are the ways that we should learn after. Those are the things that we should be doing. We should not be learning after these heathens. That's not what we're supposed to do. Yeah. We'll get to the next one. What's the next one? Yeah, man, I get caught up in it. Y'all forgive me, man. I get caught up in this. I love this. Bringing out these scriptures, man. Because these scriptures, man, this is our freedom. These scriptures is the real freedom, man. MLK's dream, that's a lie, man. That's a lie, man. You can't celebrate them. You can't celebrate MLK Day and think you're going to get freedom. That's not how you're going to get freedom, man. You're going to get freedom by keeping these laws, statutes, and commandments. You understand me? We got to come out of the things that this oppressor has taught us to do, man. You got to come out of that, man. We got to be done with that. We have to. You understand? Because the MLK said that he was going to integrate us into this society. He said he was going to integrate us into this society, right? Let me get you this next article. And this he said he was going to integrate us, right? He wanted little black boys and black girls to go to school together, right? That's what he said. Well, let's talk about the failures of integration, man. Let's talk about integration. And let's talk about what has happened with integration. It's a book right here. I think it's a pretty good book, man. You can get it if you want to. I'm not saying that you have to get it. But let's talk about it, right? On May 17, 1954, the Supreme Court declared in its landmark unanimous decision, Brown versus Board of Education, that separate schooling of black and white children was inherently unequal, marking the dawn of the modern civil rights movement. Over the next 20 years, the Civil Rights Revolution put in place laws that attempted to guarantee, essentially, for the first time since our nation's founding, that no one should be restricted in their access to education, jobs, voting, travel, public accommodations, or housing because of race. For most people, this was what integration meant. This was the dream that Martin Luther King put forth. This was what he wanted, right? Blacks, whites, Latinos, Asians, and Native Americans might not share social space, but our public institutions, our workplaces, and our schools were no longer to be divided into separate domains, with access to the best opportunities determined by skin color. The promise of civil rights laws was that only the most private institutions and the hearts and minds of would-be discriminators would remain unregulated. So you got to understand that that's what the dream was. That's what integration was all about, is for us to have equal opportunity at these things, right? It's a good idea, right? It's a good idea. It's for us to have equality amongst each other. But the Most High does not deal with equality. Equality you will not find. You're not going to have equality. The Most High has already said that he chose us to be above all nations. So that equality, that destroys equality right there, right? So you're not going to get equality. So 50 years after Brown versus the Board of Education, 50 years after the Brown versus the Board of Education, we now profess to believe that the United States should be an integrated society and that people of all races are inherently equal and entitled to full privileges of citizenship. Here is the reality. While we accept these values in the abstract, we are mostly pretending that they are true. That's a heavy point, man. That is an absolute heavy point. He says that while we accept these values in the abstract, or it's a good idea, right? While we accept these good ideas, we are mostly pretending that they are true. Man, you're not going to find equality and integration in reality. You're not going to find that in reality, right? In practice, right? Once you go to work, what happens, right? I just read you 3 different articles that talk about how you're getting bullied. I just read you an article about how this brother was getting bullied in middle school. He's still black in a white school and being bullied. You understand me? So it's still happening with this integration idea, right? It's an idea. It's not really happening. You understand me? Let's keep it going. At the dawn of the 21st century, the ideals of integration and equality of opportunity still elude us, and we are not being honest or forthcoming about it. Man, and that's the truth, man. That is the absolute truth here, brother. That we're not being honest about that in this society. They tell you that is fair, right? They tell you that you have freedom, you have equality. They tell you these things, but that's not the truth, man. That's not the truth, man. And you're not going to find that in America, because that's not what we need. What we need is the laws and the statutes and commandments of the Most High. That's what we need. We need to be separate from this oppressor. We need to be separated from him. Because Zephaniah chapter 2 and verse 1 says that we should gather together. Zephaniah 2 and 1 says, gather yourselves together. Yea, gather together, O nation not desired. Man, we are not desired in this nation, and we should gather ourselves together. Blacks, Hispanics, and natives, we need to gather together. Verse 2, before the decree bring forth, for the day pass as the shaft, before the fierce anger of the Lord come upon you, before the day of the Lord's anger come upon you. Seek ye the Lord, all ye meek of the earth, which have wrought his judgment. Seek righteousness, seek meekness. It may be ye shall be hid in the day of the Lord's anger, man. So we have an opportunity right now to get together. And that's what we should be doing. We have an opportunity to gather together with our people. That's what we should be doing. We should not be trying to envy the oppressor and seeking after what the oppressor wants for us to do. We need to get away from that and come into these real law statutes. It's like coming to these law statutes and commandments and understand what the Most High has for us to do. He says this will be for our wisdom and our understanding. That's what he said. He said this is going to be for us in the sight of all nations. So these law, statutes, and commandments is for us to keep. It's not for us to be following after MLK. It's not for us to be joining together with these other nations. It's not for us to be trying to hold hand in hand with little white boys and black boys and yellow boys and everything like Martin Luther King said. Throw that out the window. Come into the truth. Come into the truth. Because Martin Luther King said it himself. He told Harry Belafonte, what he said, he says, I've come upon something that disturbs me deeply. We have fought hard and long for integration. So he did this for, 10 years, I think he said? He did it for 10 years fighting for integration, right? And he says he believed that he should have. He thought he was doing the right thing. And I know that he will win. That's what he believes, that they're going to win integration. But I've come to believe we're integrating into a burning house. He says that I'm afraid that America may be losing what moral vision she may have had. Martin Luther King was still destroyed even at the end, right? People try to say that Martin Luther King came around at the end and he realized he was still destroyed and he still was believing in America. He still believed that he had an opportunity to save ourselves in America, even though he just said that we have integrated ourselves into a burning building. You understand me? It says Dr. King said the above statements to Harry Belafonte in a conversation they had before his death. Belafonte, startled at the statement, said to him, what should we do, realizing that we have integrated ourselves into a burning building? What should we do? This is what Martin King said. Dr. King told him that we become the fireman, The firemen. So like we become the firemen. Let us not stand by and let the house burn. Martin Luther King is not to be listened to, man. We should not become the firemen and try to save this burning house. What we should do is gather ourselves together, go outside, get some marshmallows, and watch this mug burn down. That's what we should do. We should not be trying to save this burning house. The Lord is destroying this house. Let him destroy it. Don't try to save it, man. Martin Luther King would have had you out there at the January 6th riots trying to save the Capitol building. He would have had you out there trying to prevent the people from fighting these other people. That's what he would have had you doing. If he was alive today, that's what he would have did. Because he wants you to be the fireman. He wants you to save these nations. When in actuality, what you should do is sit back, gather together with your people as we have been instructed, and watch it burn down to the ground. Let it burn, man. Let it burn, man. Because the Most High has something better for us. We're going to keep these laws, statutes, and commandments, and the Most High going to have something way better for us. So gather together, O nation not to die. Gather together. That's what I say, man. Because we cannot be found, we cannot have freedom in this place, man. That's not what we're going to have. That's not what we're going to have. You understand me? Because the dream that Martin Luther King had was a lie. And what I'm going to read to you now is the dream of the Most High, right? This is what I call it. This is not an actual dream of the Most High. But we're going to read, this is what I call it. Matthew chapter 22, starting at verse 37. It says, Jesus said unto him, Thou shalt love the Lord thy God with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy mind. You should do that. You should love the Most High. Love the Lord with all your heart, all your soul, and all your mind. Right? Verse 38, this is the first and great commandment. Verse 39, and the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets, man. So you should love the Most High and love your neighbor. That's what hangs all them. This is what hangs all the law and the prophets, man. So love the Most High and love your brother, man. Love your people. Love yourself. You understand me? Love the Most High and love your people. That's who you should give your love to. Don't give your love to these other nations, man. Don't do it like what Martin Luther King said. What Martin Luther King said was a lie. That's not for us to keep. That's not for us to do. Keep these laws, statutes, commandments, man. We got, if you want to celebrate a holiday, you want to celebrate a holiday, we got the Feast of Purim coming up real soon. You understand me? And then after that, we got Passover coming up. If you want to celebrate a day, man, celebrate these days. You understand me? Celebrate these days, man. Be done with this. Be done with this nation, man. Be done with what the oppressor is trying to sell to you, and come into the ISUPK and get a real understanding of what the Most High wants for you to do. And with that, I'm gonna end the class, and we're gonna read these ISUPK security announcements. ISUPK security announcements. We are the ISUPK, started out of 1 West 125th Street, Harlem, New York. Rule for new brother and sister. When a new brother or sister comes into the school, they are off limits for 6 months. They are to be saluted only. They are here to share themselves with the world. If they need transportation, the teacher will arrange it. After 6 months, if a brother or sister has an interest in a particular person, he or she must get permission from the head to speak to a brother or sister. There is another 6 months in which the brother and sister will court each other. After this 6 month period, the brother and sister will get permission from the head to marry. Ties, which is a commandment. You can find that in Numbers 18:21 and Malachi chapter 3, verse 8 through 10. It means a tenth in the Hebrew, ma'ashera. 10% of every penny of any increase the Lord gives you. Give to the Treasury Department or teacher. Priest fund is a free will offering for the priest. It's not mandatory. Whatsoever amount you would like, you can give it. Upcoming holy convocations. We got the Feast of Purim coming up, man. So like if anyone wants to be a trooper in the school, start wearing all black boots, shirt, pants, headband, and scarf, man. And the last thing I'm gonna say, man, look, like and follow us on the like and follow ISUPK Alabama on YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, man. We're trying to get our TikTok up so we can start going live over the TikTok and getting our truth out here like this, man. So with that, I'm gonna say Imagine, which means to stand. Imagine, Majbat, Amazon, Barak, Yahweh Ba'Shem, Yahweh Shah Barak Atah. Class dismissed.
Shalom. It's that time again, Israel. It's the Lord's 54th Annual Passover in North Carolina.
Y'all know what we do. Y'all know what we came to do. Huh?
The ISUPK, under Commander General Yohana, will be hosting the Lord's 54th Annual Passover in Raleigh, North Carolina at the Downtown Convention Center. This is something that you do not want to miss. Make sure that y'all bring the entire family.
Wait till I get with you. If I gotta go to ground, I'ma shut the town down. I ain't about to stop until I hear stand down. All you gonna see is a lot of man down.
The Downtown Raleigh Convention Center. For Blacks, Hispanic, and Native Indians. Go to isupk.com to purchase your tickets today. $200 per every adult over the age of 17 years old.
We are not the same. No, we not related. I'm not stuck on living. Death is a vacation. My camp undefeated. You cannot debate it. You just want the clout.
The Lord's 54th Annual Passover, April the 1st, is coming down to Raleigh, North Carolina. Commander General Yohana has done it again. You don't want to miss this. Pull yourself.